A line passes through -3, -1, and parallel to the graph of 2x plus 3. All right, parallel means the slopes are the same. So we're going to use the slope of 2. We've got a point, x1, y1, so we're ready for point slope form. So we use our y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. We take out x1 and we put in -3, and we take out y1 and put in -1. We also take out m and we replace it with 2 because parallel lines have the same slope. Simplifying just a little bit, y plus 1 equals 2 times x plus 3. Now let's look closely. It says go to standard form. Well, standard form does not have parentheses. So let's distribute. Y plus 1 equals 2x plus 6. Standard form has x first. So let's subtract 2x from both sides. If you can handle it, we know we want the constant to be on the other side, so subtract 1 from each side. -2x plus y equals 5. We're almost in standard form, but standard form does not allow any negatives in the first term. So we've got to multiply both sides by -1. 2x minus y, don't forget to distribute, equals -5. That's our equation in standard form. Here we're asked what would be the slope of the line perpendicular to the given line. Remember, a over b would become -b over a. So we use the phrase opposite reciprocals for how these two slopes are related. So if the slope of this line is 5, the slope of the line perpendicular to it would be negative, since that one was positive. Since 5 is really 5 over 1, it would be -1/5. Looking at the next one, this slope is -2 or -2 over 1. If I want to take the slope of the line perpendicular to it, negative will become positive and 2 over 1 will become 1 over 2. Now this one's tricky. X equals 7 is a vertical line and those don't have slopes. So this is where the simple understanding of flipping and changing the sign doesn't really work. We have to kind of picture it. So if I picture x is equal to 7, the line perpendicular to that would be y is equal to 7, right? That's what's going to form a right angle. Any horizontal line has a slope of 0. So this slope doesn't exist, right? There's no slope for the vertical line, but the slope of the line perpendicular to it will be 0. That's probably the trickiest one in the set. We're asked to write the equation of the line that passes through 2, 4 and is perpendicular to the graph of y equals 1/3 x minus 1. And we get away with just using point slope forms. That's the easiest option. Well, if the slope of our line is 1/3, the slope of the line perpendicular to it will be negative because this was positive, and 1 over 3 flips to 3 over 1, or just -3. So using y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, we can take out our x1 and put in a 4, take out our x1 and put in a 2, take out our y1 and put in a 4, take out our m and put in a -3. And that's the end. We're already in point slope form. We're asked if these pairs of graphs are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So by neither, we mean they meet each other, but not in any special way, not at a right angle. So if they're parallel, the slopes have to be equal. If they're perpendicular, then remember if one slope is a over b, the other slope is -b over a. It's neither if anything else happens. So I'm looking at this, and the second equation, it's really easy to see that the slope is 4/5. But the first equation, I have no idea what that slope is in its current form. If it was in slope-intercept form or solved for y, it would be much easier. So let's try dividing both sides by 4. We get y equals -5/4 x plus 3. Now I can see that this line has a slope of -5/4. And notice, one's positive, one's negative, and the fraction's been flipped over. So these are perpendicular. Looking at the next pair, again, one of them is really easy. We can see that the slope is 3/4. But the other line's not as simple. We've got to solve for y. We start by subtracting 4x from each side, and we get that negative 3y equals negative 4x plus 9. When we divide both sides by negative 3, we see that y equals 4/3 x minus 3. Now be careful. Look at those two slopes. They've been flipped. So our first instinct is to stay perpendicular. But notice they're both positive. So they're not the same, but they're also not opposite reciprocals. So these lines are neither parallel nor perpendicular. They kind of just meet like that. Actually, no, they don't meet like that because they're both positive. So one of them goes up 4/3. The other one goes up 3/4. So it's just a little less steep.